What's up, everyone? Back for another beer review, and today I'm going to be returning to the Fatheads Brewery out of Middleburg Heights, Ohio, and I'm going to be reviewing their Bumble Berry. So this is a honey blueberry ale, comes in at 5.3% alcohol by volume and 13 IBUs. And they have a little bit of a spiel here on the side, but they're using fresh harvested honey, and they are infusing this with blueberries. Fresh, of course. And they have a little bit of an award-winning spiel over here. Most refreshing beer in America, and that's according to the, who's that according to? The Brewing News Global Warming Open. I don't know how old that is. And this was bottled on 5/24/18, making this at time of recording about 3 weeks old. So pretty fresh. So my cousin went to the Fatheads. I think he went to the, did he go to? Yeah, he went to the brewery in Middleburg Heights, Ohio at the end of May, and he picked me up a few bottles of their Headhunter IPA, which I reviewed a few days ago. And he also picked up my dad, Pops, average dad, picked him up some of this because my dad thoroughly enjoys this beer, and my dad was nice enough to give me one for reviewing purposes, so thanks, Dad. Appreciate it. Anyway, full disclosure, I've had this beer before. I've actually had it quite a few times. I've had it at both their brewery in Middleburg Heights, Ohio, and their brew pub at the North Olmsted, Ohio location, and the most refreshing experience when it came to a fruit beer was at their brew pub when I got a, I think it was on draft, just a draft pour of it, and man, they put real blueberries in there, and I settled down. I know. Listen, I know fruit and beer, I know, but just settle it, okay? It actually was really good. But at the same time, just regular fruit beers aren't one of my favorite styles. If anything, I usually want some kind of sour, whether it's a kettle sour like a Berliner Weiss or a Goza, or an actual authentic American wild ale, or like a Belgian sour. But for a fruit beer, I do enjoy this one. But I do want to give it a proper review just because my dad was nice enough to give me one, and you know what? It's warm out. This beer should hit the spot. Let's crack it open, see what we got going on. As always with Fatheads, they always have their logo on there. So there you go for that Fatheads cap. Let's give it a pour, just using a regular old tulip today because I want to. Ooh, look at that head. I didn't even pour it that aggressive, but huge head. So as you guys can see, this actually looks like a golden ale, if anything. It has this like golden straw honey color to it, a little bit of orange tinges, pretty good carbonation, about a 3-finger off-white head, and I can smell the blueberries when I poured it, so let's get a nose on it. Yeah, it smells like real blueberries. The one issue I have with so many fruit beers, especially from bigger companies and bigger breweries, they usually have this fake, almost like essence of whatever fruit they're using. Almost like if you get like a low quality yogurt that is like, hey, a blueberry yogurt, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You get like the Nutri-Grain bars that have blueberry filling in them, but it's not like, you can tell there's some fakeness there. Luckily, this does not have that. No, tons of fresh blueberries. I wouldn't tell you there's honey in this. There just has this nondescript, nice sweetness to it. A little bit of like a crackery malt base as well. Yeah, I mean, it smells refreshing. It's, 2 or 3 notes and pretty much it, but hey man, it's a honey blueberry ale. Yeah, that's kind of what you're looking for. Blueberries, a sweetness, a little bit of a malt going on. No hops to speak of. That's what they're going for, and honestly, that's what they should be. Anyway, it smells pretty good, so thanks again, Dad, and cheers to everyone. Yeah, it's nice. First thing you notice, big carbonation bite. It's huge on the carbonation. Very spritzy. It kind of washes your palate of all the flavors a couple seconds after you're done. That's how big the carbonation is in this one. But everything's there. There's a nice blueberry character that's not overwhelming. You can tell there's blueberries. It is on the real side too. Like, it's actual blueberries. I don't know if they're using real blueberries. They say they are. They say it's infused with fresh blueberries, although on Untappd, it does say something about blueberry essence. So I don't know. But it does taste like a real blueberry. It's not tart. It's a bit of a sweeter blueberry. There's no tartness or anything. As it passes through a palate, there's a decent amount of sweetness. It's not too much, though. Again, I wouldn't say it's honey. Just say a nondescript general sweetness, a confectionery sweetness. As it finishes, though, it finishes semi-dry, and there's a slight touch of bitterness. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It's very easy to drink. Crisp, clean, and refreshing for a fruit beer, in my opinion. There's not a lot of lingering flavors going on. This is straight up light bodied, maybe higher side of light bodied. It is quite thin, but at 5.3% and a fruit beer, I expect it. The mouthfeel, like I said, crisp, clean, relatively refreshing too. It's not too sweet, although if you drank a couple of these, you'd probably be done with it. I think the sweetness might build up a bit too much. But in the flavor, blueberries, nondescript sweetness that I'd assume is the honey and some of the malt. That crackery malt not really carrying over to the flavor as much. It's more of like a slight graininess. Finishes semi-dry, and it's enjoyable. So not much more to say. When I did the Headhunter review, I reviewed it to style because it wasn't a style that I enjoyed, but it was a well-made one. So I was like, here's the rating for style. Here's my personal enjoyment. I'm going to do that for this beer. And the reason I'm doing that for this beer is because, again, fruit beers aren't one of my favorite styles, but I'll say this is quite well-made. I'm going to give the Fatheads Bumble Berry, I'm going to give that as stylistically a 4.25 out of 5. Personal enjoyment, straight up 3.5 out of 5. I'll probably get, at the very least, a sample of this, or like as part of a flight next time I go to the Fatheads Brewery. If anybody ever throws one my way, like my dad or my cousin or whoever goes there and picks some up, I will happily take a bottle and enjoy it. It's not one I'll seek out, but it's pretty good. And maybe after I turn this off, I'll go throw some real blueberries in this, right? Right? No? You don't want me to do that? Okay, I won't then. But yeah, so that was Bumble Berry from Fatheads. 3.5 out of 5 personal enjoyment, 4.25 out of 5 for style. Probably not going to do the style thing all that much. I just felt like I needed to for these reviews. And yeah, that does it for another review. Please like, comment, subscribe. Hit the notification bell if you want to be updated. And until the next one, cheers. And thanks again, Dad. I do appreciate it.